Now I told y'all last week, your boy, had to get fresh because I love Power Rangers Dino Thunder. So I had to get fresh for y'all, man. We gonna chop up some good game today. Now look, typically for these Power Ranger reviews, I'll watch a season in about 4 days, do a review, and then kind of take a few days off. Whew. Can't be soaking in too much Power Rangers, you know. Gotta take a break every now and then. But for Dino Thunder, not that one, not this one. When I was done watching Power Rangers Ninja Storm and I saw Dino Thunder on the Netflix loading screen, I was like, oh shit. I got done with Ninja Storm Tuesday night. I started Dino Thunder Tuesday night. I'm telling y'all, I love this season of the show, and we gonna chop up some good ass game. Does Dino Thunder still hold up today in 2020? The answer is hell yeah. Each season of Power Rangers holds a different level of importance in the history of the franchise. We all know about the story of Power Rangers in Space and how originally In Space was going to be the last season, but the ratings were so high, Saban was moving so much merchandise that they said, hey, we got to keep this going. We got to keep on making these. And In Space saved the franchise. Dino Thunder shot adrenaline into this franchise. If it wasn't for Dino Thunder, a lot of people that began with Mighty Morphin, began with Lost Galaxy, began with Zeo, would not be watching the franchise now. Dino Thunder deserves a lot of credit. And it's my most favorite season of the show. Okay, let's go. Let me tell you the tale of Power Rangers Dino Thunder. The story goes like this. Two scientists, Anton Mercer and Tommy Oliver, are experimenting on dinosaur DNA on a remote island. One day, that remote island becomes under attack by dinosaur-like beings. After that day, their peaceful lives are forever changed. Tommy Oliver goes on to become a science teacher, and Tom Mercer goes on to become a businessman. 3 students in Tommy Oliver's high school class are then chosen by the ancient Dino Gems to become Dino Rangers who save the Earth from the evil threats of Mazagog, who wants to recreate the dinosaur age. The plot is smooth, but what really worked for me and made it epic was the first episode. Let's talk about the first episode. The first episode began with this guy running around a building. You can't really make out who he is, or really what the hell is chasing him. There's almost this Darth Vader-esque vibe to the figure that's chasing him. You can't really make it out, but you see he's decked out in black, and for whatever reason he's pissed off. As he's chasing this guy, debris blows by, and then you see this individual's face. And the camera stayed right there for a good 5 seconds to let everybody know Tommy is back. Also known as give us your money. And I'm telling y'all, did that work? It worked. After that, we see Tommy Oliver escape the island, ultimately not being harmed. Now, our main heroes at high school all have their own separate interests, much like how they did in Ninja Storm. We see Connor is into soccer. We see Ethan is a computer kid. We see Kira is into being alone and playing the guitar. That is all very dynamic ways to introduce them to an audience, hoping that the audience again can connect to those interests. But with those interests, you have a lot of stubbornness, and you also have the typical high school setting where there's cliques. These are the cool kids. These are the okay kids, Kira. And these are the lame kids, Ethan. I loved how they set that up in the early episode. While they're in detention, getting ready to get a punishment, we see for the first time in the franchise a new Ranger team that does not like each other. They cannot stand each other's guts throughout the entire first episode. And you're sitting right there wondering, how are these three people going to work together to save the world if they can't stand being around each other when they don't have powers? I loved that setup because it got away from the traditional beings of the past in Power Rangers. What really stuck out to me in episode 1 was that you saw two different Tommy Olivers. On the remote island, when he's fighting the Tyranodrones and he's trying to escape Mesogog, you see traditional Tommy Oliver ready to fight, taking on monsters and creatures without his abilities, being a badass. You see him dive into the ocean, very similar to how he did it when he was trying to save Kat in Power Rangers Turbo, the movie. Heroic, Mighty Morphin Tommy
not good.
Where just a few moments later, you see a different Tommy Oliver. A little bit older, peaceful, reserved, post-Ranger Tommy Oliver, who's a science teacher. I loved seeing two different Tommies in one episode. That was beautiful. And even how convincing they were as teenagers. We all know that these actors are 22, 23, 24. They're not actually teenagers. But when you look at the cast, Kira, Connor, and Ethan, they look like convincing teenagers. You don't look at them and go, hey, that's an adult. I see his mustache. No, it is very convincing. And their performance is key in that. The dialogue between them is so well written and it's hilarious.
Not again. Now what? What are you doing?
Why would he leave it unlocked?
He's got no neighbors.
What, you never heard of the Three Bears? Is that the last book you read?
I was on the floor laughing at that. There are so many funny lines in this script, y'all. They were able to strike a great balance between pulling the old audience in from the Zordon era, but then also having enough new stuff for the people that haven't watched the Zordon era to attach themselves to. A great balancing act in Dino Thunder throughout all episodes. I'm going to say something a little bit controversial, but I want you guys to really understand where I'm coming from. This might be my most favorite incarnation of Tommy Oliver. I know I'm about to get some hate. I'm about to get some stones thrown at me, but let me tell y'all why. First off, this Tommy is so smart and aware. When the new Rangers get their morphers, they get their powers, they are constantly asking him, how do you know so much about this? How are you such a great fighter? How are you prepared for all of these situations? Why do you have a secret lair in your basement? What is all of this about? And he's reluctant to trust new Rangers, showing his smarts because he knows the Power Ranger history. And with that history, he knows the identity of all other Rangers before him. The awareness to know, if I can't trust these people, I'm putting Adam, Justin, TJ, Cassie, Kimberly, who he's probably still in love with. I'm putting all of these other Power Rangers in jeopardy. Wes, Jen, Shane, Dustin. I'm putting all of these other Rangers in harm and their families if I can't trust these new Rangers. He was very reluctant to tell them about his past.
I guess isn't exactly something you see every day.
Sort of like a science teacher with the ruins of an ancient civilization under his house.
Like, not that this isn't all really cool, but seriously, dude, you gotta come clean.
Okay, first of all, don't call me dude. Second, as hard as this may seem, you two need to forget all about this. I'll find Kara.
Smarts and awareness. I also enjoyed his leadership style. His leadership style was more of pre-battle. He would give out the overall objective. All right, you guys, we got to get the civilians out of that building. And when the right ranger shows up, you guys take them down. All right, let's do it. That was his leadership style, where once he got to the battlefield, Connor was the leader. Connor will be the one to take charge of a variety of situations involving the team. It was a great balancing act of leadership like Zordon, but then not being overbearing and trying to dominate. He didn't come in there swinging his Mighty Morphin dick around going, all right, you guys, I'm a Power Ranger, so this is what we're going to do. It was awesome how it was written. I really liked the one-on-one battles between Tommy and Zeltrax. Those are beautifully choreographed. The slow-mos, the kicks, the air maneuvers, the brachio staff. There is so much epicness in the fights between Zeltrax and Tommy. That is why I wanted the fights between Goldar and Tommy to be in the past. But that never happened because Goldar became comedy relief. Tommy was excellent in Dino Thunder. Looking at the finer details of the season, we know that the Disney era started something that many seasons of Power Rangers would do afterwards, giving the Rangers powers and abilities outside of their suit. Connor gets superhuman speed, but he's also an excellent soccer player. So when it comes to action sequences outside of his suit, you can see his athleticness and how he fights. It's a lot of flips. It's a lot of short bursts of athleticism and speed, as if like he was on the soccer field. And of course, the superhuman speed ability adds to that. The finer details in battle were cool with Connor. Even Ethan. Ethan is a computer guy. He's great with video games, but he's not really into sports or athletics like that. So when he would fight, you'll see him roll his sleeves up and have this real comic book traditional style of fighting that involved a lot of quick jabs and punches, obviously capitalizing on his ability to harden his skin like a dinosaur. That was fantastic details in the fighting. Even Kira, she was not an experienced fighter, but her being a female, she's way more agile and flexible than the other two. So her fight scenes would involve constant spinning and jumping on top of things. And, ooh, the details in the battles were dope, y'all. The villains for Dino Thunder are so great because they have multiple layers. Inside of those layers, you have secret identities that are later on revealed for these villains. Let's start with one of the main henchmen, Zeltrax. Obviously, we've already spoken about the great choreography involved in the fights with Zeltrax and Tommy. But what made Zeltrax so special was that the rivalry between him and Tommy was very reminiscent of Ecliptor and Andros from In Space. that constant back and forth, that urge inside of the other person to take the other one down no matter what. Later on in the season, it's revealed that Zeltrax is actually somebody Tommy used to work with on the island with him and Anton Mercer. It's his old friend Smitty. That was so beautiful because in past seasons, the monsters and the creatures, I need a prayer cloth, y'all, I'm sweating. The monsters and the creatures would just be generic beings. They would have no backstory. They would have no true motivation beyond just wanting to destroy because they're evil. Dino Thunder villains weren't like that. Elsa was a fantastic villain because she had a connection to Zeltrax that was kind of romantic in a way, but also because her secret identity was Principal Randall, the principal of the school the Rangers went to. Oh, and she had a thing for Tommy Oliver. It wasn't really spoken about frequently, but there were enough lines of dialogue to let you know she liked Tommy.
I was wondering how long I could pull this off.
I have to give you credit. We should have seen it. Well, looks like it's all over, Miss Randall.
It's a shame, Tommy. We could have had something.
Dream on.
Which is kind of weird that the bad guy winds up liking Tommy like that. But, hey, if you're Tommy Oliver, I guess things just magically happen for you like that. The big bad of the season is Mesogog. I love how Mesogog is really Anton Mercer. Mesogog was an experiment gone wrong with dinosaur DNA that ultimately wound up creating him. The thing I loved about Mesogog was the actor's performance. He has this very creepy confidence. The cadence in which how he spoke was very intimidating and very much like a horror film. He would talk to Zeltrax and say, "Zeltrax, you failed me again." And his head movements and body movements would be like Jason from Friday the 13th. It was intimidating. A great performance, but I really disliked this man's evil plan. It's stupid. If you've seen the Amazing Spider-Man movie from 2012, and you remember the Lizard's plan was to make New York respect the cold-blooded, turn everybody into a reptile. That was basically Mesogog's plan. He wanted to bring back the age of the dinosaurs. That makes no sense. What does he get from that? Is he going to get all the dinosaurs together and they're going to have a Land Before Time marathon? Is he going to get all the dinosaurs together and they're getting ready to go to Chuck E. Cheese? Is he getting ready to get all the dinosaurs together and they're going to do the cha-cha slide? I'm really trying to wonder what the fuck was his plan in wanting to get the dinosaur age back. Is he more comfortable around dinosaurs? I don't get that. His plot was stupid. Haley Cyberspace. Let me school y'all. A lot of seasons have tried to copy various things from Mighty Morphin. Obviously, that's the GOAT season, the first one. And in doing that, a lot of seasons have just copied and pasted. They didn't copy, paste, and edit. They just copied and pasted. Let's look at the first episode in season 1 of Beast Morphers. Right? They tried to copy the juice bar. Have kids doing karate, have bright colors in the background, and it's just so unrealistic to how kids in modern society would function in a place like that. Power Rangers Dino Thunder had a place called Haley Cyberspace. Haley was the assistant to Dr. Oliver. But what really made Haley Cyberspace so great was that it was a modern 2004 way to have teenagers together in the same place. You had singing and music-based events. You had kids playing pool. You had them playing, what's the thing when you roll and you hit the ball? Was it foosball? Or am I doing my hands like that? I think it was foosball. You had computer games. You had kids studying. You had drawing. You have events where comic book artists will come and talk to people there. You had other performers come there and perform. Kira would perform. It was a great way to call back to Ernie's Juice Bar, but to ultimately update it for a new audience. That is how you do it. And Dino Thunder did so many of those things great. We've already spoken about Anton Mercer being Mesogog. What gave Anton Mercer another angle from a villain, both sympathetically and unsympathetically, was Trent. Trent is the son of Anton Mercer. He's the adopted son. And in that, you have a lot of push and pull, because in the beginning of the season, Trent accidentally gets access to the Dino Gem, the white one, and he ends up being the evil White Ranger. That arc was beautiful because it gave the Rangers their biggest challenge. It gave them an unknown threat. And when I tell you the evil White Ranger would beat their ass.
Man, I don't have to beat your ass, but I will beat your ass. Stay the fuck out of my face, man.
He would beat their ass. And Tommy's too. I mean, he would lay a smackdown from Dino Thunder all the way to Mighty Morphin. I mean, that ass whooping was felt for generations. And when it's revealed that Trent can't control himself, you see it had the same effect that it had on Tommy and Mighty Morphin, where his personality begins to warp. And I love that about the characters when they turn evil. Not just their hero or villain persona, but them as a whole has to begin to change, because the main actions they're taking are against the norm. So their entire persona should change. And that happened in Dino Thunder. Now, as great as that arc was, and even his Zord, the Stega and the Draco Zord, coming together to make one of the most epic Zords in Power Rangers. Boy, that Zord is beautiful. I don't talk about the Zords often. That Zord is gorgeous. That costume, top 3 in the franchise. Later on in the season, they winded up bringing another evil White Ranger who was a clone aboard the show. And that just annoyed the hell out of me. I was thinking to myself, why the hell would you do that? Because when the evil White Ranger comes into the picture, that's not Trent, it's annoying because as an audience member, we already transitioned beyond the White Ranger. We're ready for them to face another threat, a new threat. We don't want to tread over the same things over and over again. And that's what happened with the evil White Ranger saga. It just felt super repetitive. And it really did take away from that portion of the season in terms of villains and threat. Every season of the franchise has generic beat-em-up bad guys. Putties, Piranhatrons, Stingringers, etc., etc. This season had the Tyrannodrones, but they had a backstory. The backstory to the Tyrannodrones was that they were created by Tommy, who was messing around with dinosaur DNA and technology, but everything went wrong in the experiment. They gave a backstory to the beat 'em up bad guys. Now that is some GOAT level writing and attention to detail. Even more attention to detail, the motorcycle acrobatics are better than they are from Ninja Storm. And that doesn't make any sense because Ninja Storm, you had Rangers who were dirt bike riders. So you would think that the dirt bike acrobatics and stunts would be better in that season. No, they are great in Power Rangers Dino Thunder. There's some movements on the bikes that are damn near Matrix badass. And I'm not even making that up. It's some gorgeous choreographed movements on and off the motorcycles, especially during the beginning portion of the season. I'm down here sweating like a Baptist preacher, y'all. I'm spitting that hot fire. Triassic mode. Let's talk about Connor McKnight's power-up. Triassic mode looks gorgeous. The gold with the blue, with the white, with the red. Ooh! If there is ever one Power Rangers power-up that I can have in real life, I ain't worried about flying into outer space like Andros. I'm not worried about looking like something from Metabots like Carter did in Lightspeed Rescue. I ain't worried about that. I want to look badass like Connor did in his Triassic mode. Not only is the Shield of Triumph with the sword super badass, this man fought in outer space in Triassic mode. And the Triassic mode transformation, roll the clip.
Shield of Triumph! Triassic power! Battleizer! Engage!
You can't tell me that ain't badass. You can't tell me that ain't gorgeous. Even the build up to that, when Dr. O was talking to Connor, telling you, hey man, look, you remind me a lot of myself when I was your age. I had so much raw emotion and sometimes overconfident in myself that if you believe in yourself and you believe you've earned that power, it'll come to you. And when he gets it, it feels like this big badass moment for the character. Something that he was very deserving of, because we saw Connor in the beginning of the season struggle with wanting to be a Power Ranger. It was getting in front of his soccer dreams. It was stopping him from practicing and having tryouts, being a Ranger. He winds up saving a little girl's life, and that inspires him to continue to be a Power Ranger. Terrific writing, realistic teenagers, realistic adults across the board, from Anton Mercer, Tommy and Haley, who Dr. O met in college. She was a great assistant, a combination of Ernie and Alpha. Oh, this review is long as shit. All right, it's too damn long. I'm going to be editing this forever. Let's talk about the season finale. Again, y'all be feeling differently than me. I be hating the way a lot of seasons end. I feel like it's anticlimactic. It's not grand enough for what you sat through. And Dino Thunder was not grand enough, action-wise. Mesogog winds up separating himself from Anton Mercer. So now they are two separate beings. Great, because Trent has his father again. But what really fucked me up about it was that Mesogog is able to mutate himself further. Okay, he looks really stupid when he does it. It's the design is not aesthetically pleasing. But what really pissed me off was when he would duplicate himself into 4. There are now 4 Mesogogs. What happens is that they are able to summon the powers of the Dino Gem and eliminate all 4 Mesogogs in one blast. And that is the end of Mesogog. I know somebody in the comment section is going to say, Marcus, you got to understand, the Dino Gems were made from the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. So there's a lot of power in the Dino Gems. I got you. But damn, 4 Mesogogs get wiped out like that. Damn, man, that pissed me off. And even the ending of it, where they all end up going to prom, was not grand enough, because it's no confirmation of Trent and Kira are boyfriend and girlfriend, or Tommy is officially hanging up his Power Ranger helmet. Haley is feeling Tommy. There is no confirmation of things you wondered throughout the season. It just ends with Ethan dating a girl that he met at a movie theater, Connor dating the tree girl, Trent sitting in the audience by himself, and Kira singing. And I was like, this is some real High School Musical, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody type of ending. It did not feel big enough for how great this season is. So, Power Rangers Dino Thunder. What does it get? What does it deserve? Power Rangers Dino Thunder gets a mother freaking A-. Whoo! Y'all, I wanted to get this thing an A+, but I had to be real. I had to be honest with myself. It is not an A+ season, but it's an A-, y'all. It's better than Time Force, and it's a notch below in space. But this is one of the best seasons of the show. One of the main reasons why I still watch Power Rangers today is because of Dino Thunder. Now, before you go, I just want y'all to know, I love this season a lot. I think I said that too many times during this review, right? Y'all, I went on eBay, and I went to the dark side. I went down a dangerous path, and I bought something. I'm too damn old to be collecting Power Ranger morphs. I've started something dangerous. Real dangerous. Alright, y'all. It's been weird, but it's been real. We got Power Rangers SPD next week. I can't wait to watch it. Shout out to the SPD crew. They are great at all the conventions they go to together. They have dope synergy together. And Brendan J. McLaren is a great Red Ranger. Everybody else is dope in the season. So we're going to talk about Power Rangers SPD. Alright, it's been weird, but it's been real. Hell yeah. Dino Thunder power up, bitch. That was cringy as shit. Get out of here, bitch.